Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you're watching this, know that I appreciate it. It is 6:39 on Friday morning, September 7th of 2018. It is a beautiful, damp, muggy Friday morning. We had a good little rain yesterday. We're scheduled for another one today. And I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. We needed the rain. And I never understood, well, I didn't fully understand what that meant until we moved here to Texas. Because Texas gets so hot and so dry, and it stays that way for so long, that when the rain comes, it is a welcomed rain for the most part. Fortunately, in the industry that I work in, we like the rain because we know that we need the rain, but at the same time, the rain messes with the money. If the ground is wet, heavily saturated, we can't take samples for the testing that we do. We can't take samples for the concrete that's poured, for the soil that they're pouring the concrete on. We can't do any of that. It actually gets so wet sometimes that we can't even pick up our cylinder testers, our tester cylinders, because it gets too wet to get back there to them, because a lot, they're on the construction sites. So if the ground is too saturated for our guys to get their trucks back there, many times it's too saturated for the client to get their equipment back there, or they'll get stuck in mud. If it's too saturated, then we can't go back and even get the samples that were made the day before. So that messes with the testing as well, because sometimes we have samples that need to be tested within 24 hours. We have some that need to be tested within 48 or 72 hours. But if we can't get to the cylinders, then that throws off the testing. Our normal test date, the first test date is 7 days. Oh, this traffic is 7 days. So it throws the test dates off if we can't get to it. And sometimes may even throw the results off. Because the cylinders may have gotten, wet while sitting there waiting to be picked up, and may have weakened in the rain. And my windows wow, these drivers are like seriously insane right now. So it may throw our things off, and the test results, the test dates, things of that nature. So while the rain is welcomed because we absolutely needed it in our industry, it makes it very difficult. But I'm not complaining at all. I welcome the rain. I love the rain, actually, and as long as it's not bringing, floods, tornadoes, hurricanes, I'm good. Let it rain. Or it's not too cold. And here in Texas, it really gets too cold. We did have a few days this past winter where it was colder than I expected it to be. But I'm so very glad that I had my Chicago, oh, come on, down coat. This car is really acting up, and I just don't know what the deal is. I just don't know what the deal is. And the windows stay defogged. They keep fogging up like crazy. And I've got the defrost on so that it does clear up the fog, but that clearly isn't helping. That clearly isn't helping. But yeah, so it's Friday. It's the weekend. I don't have to work the part-time until tomorrow. I'm only doing 5 hours. And I'm all right with that. Yesterday was a trying day for me. Trying in the sense that I had a coworker that just insisted on picking, and she was doing it under the pretense of assisting, but it wasn't really assisting. It really wasn't assisting, and it got to a point where my supervisor had to step in several times and tell her to back off, and she just wasn't getting the back off. And for whatever reason, she didn't realize that my supervisor was my supervisor, so she just kept blowing off what my supervisor was saying. So I had to pull her to the side and say, look, that's who I report to. So she's telling you something. You need to pay attention to what she's telling you. Because it's in your best interest that you do that. And you gotta be, one, patient with people like that. She's that individual that, and I've said this before with several other of the people that I work with and for, that everybody's everything is a priority. And it's actually true. Everybody's everything is a priority. The only problem is that it makes it difficult for everyone else and their priority, because everybody wants to come up and say, I need this taken care of right away. I need this done right away. Because now the hammers come down and they're tight on time. Well, you're tight on time every month. This thing happens every month. So let's be better prepared. Let's be better prepared. And when you have situations like this, you have to be patient with the person that's doing this. And this individual is that kind of person that she doesn't care about anyone else's work, priorities, workload. She doesn't care. And she may say, oh, I do care. But in actuality, she doesn't. She wants her things to go first and foremost, and that's it. That's all. And I had to say something to her yesterday about trying to make her things priority over everyone else's. She's done that over the phone. I had to get her on her about that over the phone earlier this week. And then she did it face to face yesterday. And I was like, well, that means that you want your things to be priority over everyone else's. And that's just quite honestly not something that I can do. And she says, well, no, that's not what I'm trying to do. And I said, well, yes, it is. And I explained to her how it comes across that way. And she said, no, that's not what I'm doing. Just if you would just do this and then do that, it would take you 2 seconds. No, that's not going to happen. And then she comes back later on, like an hour or so later, and she starts in again. And she says, well, we'll just have to put, this project stuff by itself so that it doesn't get mixed in with everything else, because I'm not seeing all the paperwork and I need you to see all the paperwork, and clearly we just need to separate it from everything else. I said, then once again, you're trying to make it priority over everyone else's projects. Well, no, that's not what I'm trying to do. I just want to make sure that the paperwork doesn't get lost. And if you just put it over here, you don't even have to do it. Just put the bin over here and make the technicians do it. Well, the technicians aren't going to do it. They're just not. They like the convenience of having one place to put their paperwork. That's it. That's all. Every morning I go through the paperwork and I separate everything out, and then I disperse it to the project managers. That's what they're used to. They're not going to do anything different, and you need to allow me to go through the process because you're trying to make your things priority again. No. That's not what I'm doing, but that's exactly what you're doing. And then it got to the point where my supervisor was, she had to interject once again and say something to the girl, and that's when I had to. She basically told my supervisor to take a chill pill. That's basically what she told my supervisor. And I said, that's kind of funny coming from someone who needs to take a whole bottle of chill pills right now, that you would tell someone else to take a chill pill. And then she went to say something to my boss about something else, and when she came out, I informed her that that's not my boss, but my supervisor. I informed her that that's who I report to. She says, "Oh, I didn't know that." Well, now you do, and this is why every time you say something to me, she says something to you. So yeah, it was a little bit of a testy day yesterday. I won't even say that, but a very testy day yesterday. But word of wisdom for the day: patience. Be patient with people. I have a customer service tip that I need to record for the other channel, and patience plays a part in that customer service tip. So just be patient with people, because you just don't know what their situation is, and why they are doing some of the things that they're doing. And even though we came very close a couple of times to me getting on this person, like really getting into, it was very possible for us to get into a verbal altercation. It was really very possible for that to happen. But the difference is my maturity level allows me the experience and the knowledge that the experience of knowing that that's not the place, the knowledge of knowing that that's not the place, and that there's a better way and a better time to handle it. And so that's what I attempt to do on a regular basis. But in order to do that, I must be patient. So you do the same. Be patient. Practice patience with people, because again, you never know. And again, her motive for the most part was one of helpfulness. She really thought that when she initially came to me earlier in the day, that she was being helpful, and trying to assist another employee by giving me advice on how to deal with this employee. And I had to make sure that she understood that it's not that I don't know how to deal with this employee. It's not that I don't know how to handle this employee. I've done this kind of work for over 20 years. So I do know how to handle, adjust, reprioritize, and talk with people about what the workload is and what my job is. So, and on top of that, I'd already spoken with the person that she's telling me to accommodate. I'd already had the conversation with her. My supervisor had already had the conversation with this person. So the fact that this young lady will come to me and say, well, if you would just do this, if you would just do this, if you would just do this, it would take you 2 seconds. If you would just do this. She wasn't trying to hear me say, but I'm not. But I'm not. So that's where the switch flipped for patience, because I knew that she clearly was not understanding and really needed me to take a higher ground. Take a higher ground. So be patient. With that, I'm here. I got to get inside. My boss isn't here, so I need to get in and open up and get my life together before my day starts. Peace and blessings. Remember to walk in your purpose and know that I appreciate you.